Hey y'all, welcome to the 34th episode of the Yarn This podcast. I'm Shama, Jessie's Girl 84 on Ravelry, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find my Yarn This groups on Ravelry and Facebook. If you're one of my returning yarnies, thanks so much for coming back. If this is your first time watching, thanks so much for giving me a shot. Today is Thursday, April 18th, 2019. A lot has happened in the last few weeks. I got to go to the DFW Fiber Fest, which was a lot of fun for a lot of reasons. Oops, I dropped something. So we'll get into that in a few minutes. And in the meantime, let's get started with the knitting. Okay, first, I've been working on my Jessie's Girl Cardi. This was my plan. My plan was to finish it and wear it to DFW. And I was doing really, really well. If I had started maybe 3 days earlier, I think I could have finished it and worn it, but I didn't. This is a pattern by Elizabeth Smith. The yarn is the Lemonade Shop in the Fan Pop colorway. It's her classic DK. I'm knitting this on US 9 5.5 millimeter needles. The last time, I believe I showed y'all, I unbagged the yarn. I had just gotten it in the mail a few days earlier, and I waited to show it to y'all. So now you get to see what it's like knitted up. And it really doesn't look like much, but I think when I, hang on, good grief. I think when I block it, and of course finish it, it's going to look a lot better. So here it is. And it's knit in one piece up to the shoulders, and then you divide. So I've already done this front, right like this. And I've started the other front side because after DFW, I've been knitting on something else, which I'll show you in a few minutes. So I just started on this last night. And then I have to do, I believe there's like a back piece that comes up to meet them. And then I'll do like a 3 needle bind off. So I'm just going to work on this some the next few days and try to get it finished pretty quickly because we have another fiber festival in a couple of weeks, which I'm going to talk about, and I plan to wear it for that. Well, good grief, I keep dropping my row counter again. Anyway, sorry. Okay, so I'm loving this. It's very simple. It's garter stitch. It's very fast. And I'm doing the extra large, and it's okay if it gets too big, or if it is a little too big, because this was originally designed in a sport weight yarn, and I'm doing DK. I didn't do a gauge swatch, which I always do when I'm doing garments, but if it's too big, it's okay because it doesn't close in the front. If it's just a kind of a loosey-goosey thing, that's actually going to be perfect. So we'll see. It might be big enough for all of y'all to get in with me, but I kind of doubt it. Okay, so the next thing that I've kind of worked on is the gingerbread house socks. This is the Blizzard pattern by K.F. Jones, Briny Bears. And I'm knitting it out of the Abby Grasso self-striping sock in the gingerbread stripe colorway. And this is her sock yarn. And the website is Artistic Yarn by Abby. And I'm knitting it as usual on 1.5, 2.5 millimeter needles. I'm not sure if I showed you this last time. We had gone to the IndyCar race in Austin, and I made a lot of progress, but here it is. It's got little trees, and it's hard to see. You really should do this with more of a semi-solid or like a speckledy yarn, but it's okay because I can see the trees, and I love this yarn, so I'm enjoying it. It has this little pattern down here. Let's see, sorry. And it's kind of hard to see that as well, but it has little pearls from time to time. Anyway, this is a really sweet little sock, and I plan to get this done here in the next 3 or 4 weeks before we go on our trip because I have another pair of socks planned. And really that's all I've worked on. The other thing I have on the needles right now is the Gnome de Plume, which is that mystery knit along by Sarah Shira, Imagine Landscapes. But I haven't touched it in a couple of weeks or so. So I plan to get that done as well before the trip. And so that should be off the needles and ready to see when I come back from Yellow Rose, I hope. So I really haven't worked on all that much, and I've finished even fewer things. What I did finish, though, well, I guess I didn't finish fewer things. I did work on these and finish them. This is the Peeps the Bunny pattern by Red Mitten Designs, and this is a free pattern. Actually, I think I bought one. You can get it for free, or you can get a pay-for pattern with no ads, and that's what I did. It's the cutest, easiest, sweetest little pattern, and I'm using Hobby Lobby I Love This Yarn Metallics, and I'm knitting these on the US 4 3.5 millimeter needles. This is a worsted weight. The first one I did was this pink one. So you start with the ears and then join them and do the body. And it's just knitting around, stockinette, and you do these little eyes. And you're supposed to put a tail on, which I might do. I haven't done those yet. So there's this pink one. I did this turquoise one. And then the last one I finished was this royal blue one. They're so much fun and so cute. I'm going to make some more. These are for my niece and nephews for Easter. So I wanted to get these done before Easter. What else have I worked on? Oh, yeah. One other little thing. I finished this little preemie hat. This is the 5th one I finished this year, and it's the 6th one for the ones that I'm knitting up for the end of this year for Christmas time. Let's see here. So here they all are. I was doing them just like this with the Christmas colorway and the white edging, and then I decided to do Christmas with the red edging. I'm not sure if I showed y'all this one. And then I did this one that was just straight through, oh yeah, red with the Christmas edging. The funny thing about this yarn is how it pools when you do the different sized hats. Of course, obviously, that's a fact, but it's just, I love pooling, and I love watching the different, there's this, and then this is the next size up, and I've got that, which is more stripy than pooling. There's a little bit right there. Then there's this one, which has little blobs, more like little blobs. And I think I talked about this last time. I'm sorry. I love the way this stuff turns out. Anyway, so I'm enjoying these. I'm still knitting them during church. And the good thing is, like I said, it helps me focus on the sermon, and it gives me something to do with my hands at the same time. But really, that's what keeps me focused, is having this simple little project to do. Although this one last Sunday, I had like twice as many stitches as I was supposed to, so I just had to pull it off. And then I started over in the afternoon and worked on it and finished it quickly. So those are my only FOs since the last time we talked, because I was working on this for so much of the time. Now, I've got some projects that I want to work on coming up, but I'm going to talk about those in 1 week in a few minutes, because they all have to do with my upcoming trip. So the big thing that I did this time was the DFW Fiber Fest. It was fantastic. I always enjoy it. I love going with my knitting group, and we go on Saturday morning, leave from here and drive up to Dallas, and we get a room, or a few rooms, and we go straight to the Fiber Fest and hang out there until probably about the time it closes. And then we go on to find somewhere to eat, and then we go back the next day, and then we go home. On the way up, this time the weather was horrible. Everybody said, it's going to rain, and I said, oh, that's fine. I was driving, and I said, I don't mind, because I don't mind driving in the rain. But I do mind it when I can't see anything in front of me. It was so bad. But thankfully I had a couple of girls with me, and I had Alyssa and Zoe going with me there. And we sang and we talked, and Alyssa was the person that helped me with my navigation. Even though I had my GPS on for parts of it, it was so confusing that I really had to keep my eyes on the road, and she kept her eyes on the GPS, which was great. And then there were a couple of times that I wanted pictures, one of which was this very faint rainbow in the sky, and she got those for me. Anyway, so bad weather aside, it was great. I volunteer. This is my second year to volunteer, and all that means is that for like 3 hours, you do something. Last year, I sat in the, what was it, yarn Fiberatorium, I think. And I wore like a lab coat. And there are a lot of things going on in there. There's like always a spinning demonstration. I think there was a weaving demonstration. They have the Knitting Guild and the Crochet Guild. And they also had the silkworm booth last year and this year. Wow. I don't know if anybody saw my last year's episode after DFW, but I actually let them put a silkworm on my finger last year. I am not a bug, worm, snake, lizard, spider, roach person at all. So that was a little tough. I mean, it didn't do anything, but I'm just, the only kind of bug at all that I'll touch is a ladybug. But anyway, it was interesting, and they were back again this year, and it really is fascinating, and it's very labor intensive to be in charge of these silkworms. But this year I worked in the information booth, and it was really neat. We had helped people sign up for the giveaways, for the door prizes, and we had these really cool pins. I forgot to bring my pen, and the top of it flipped so that you could set your phone. It was like a phone stand plus a pen, and we got to meet people and talk to people, and it was a really great time. And I know that last time I talked about getting to meet the grocery girls. And so when I got there, they were finishing up a talk, and then they were going to meet people. And I had gotten together a little gift bag for them. I got them each a bag of coffee from H-E-B. And if you're out of Texas, H-E-B is a Texas grocery store chain, and they have a lot of Texas-made products. They have a line of coffees. There's a Houston blend, a San Antonio blend, a Hill Country, an Austin blend, I think. Anyway, I got each of them. I got a Houston blend for one, and I got the other, I think, Hill Country. And I got them this, like a protein, well, like it's not really high in protein, but it's like a meal replacement bar, but they're made in Texas. And I got them a Millionaire Candy, made in Texas, and then I made them some cuticle conditioner, and it was really, really neat to meet them. They were super nice, very attentive. Took pictures with them, and I'm going to put the pictures up at the end. It was really awesome. I was so excited to meet them, and I was kind of nervous on the way up because I didn't want to say something stupid, but I ended up being calm and collected by the time I got up there. Anyway, I had a shawl on, and I thought I had it where it would stay up, and I noticed in my pictures later that it was sagging. But anyway, it is what it is. And the best part about the whole thing was that I got a fever blister about 3 days before we left, right in the middle of my bottom lip. Anyway, it's okay. I still took pictures. I had a great time. I was just very self-conscious about that. As always, DFW had a large number of vendors, and really good vendors. I'm always happy. And I have people that I always go to. And with the way things went on Saturday when we got there, in addition to me volunteering, I really didn't get to see everybody that was there. But I did get to see my friends, and I did see some people that were new to me. And I got a few things that I'm going to talk about here. Not as much as I've shown y'all in the past, because this was just one show. So first of all, I went to Stacy of Mustache Yarn. I'm always so happy to see her. She's so sweet. And she has had a new colorway called the Doctor, and it's supposed to represent all of the doctors, and the yellow one is representing Jodie Whittaker. And so this is it. Isn't it beautiful? I cannot wait to knit this up. I'm sure it'll become socks. I love self-striping. Anyway, and I love Stacy's yarn, so yes. I also got this beautiful skein of Mermaid Bay in the Sensible Sock, on a Sensible Sock base from Allie of Savvy Skeins. I love Allie's yarn. I love Allie. We are such good friends, and her daughters. And now her friend Tania travels with her, and so I've gotten to be friends with her as well. Great girls. Anyway, so this was the one I got from her. So you can see the greens and the blues. The blues are amazing. Look at that. Oh, that blue is gorgeous. And then down here you've got some purples. I can't wait to knit this up. This might be a cowl though. I mean, it's a merino nylon blend, but I think this would make a beautiful cowl. But we'll see. Oh, it's amazing. What else? Let me scooch these. Okay. And then I went to see Penny and Stacy at Brazen Stitchery because I have to always go see my girls. And they had several new colorways. I only got 2 this time. But the first one I got is Garden Party. It's a self-striping dyed by Penny. It's amazing. This is a 75-25. And here it is. And they always have a small sample knit up. Usually something that's like a big wrist cuff. Like it'd be the part of a sock leg. And they do then like a ribbing at the top and the bottom of it. So I got to see this knit up and it's just... Look at all the different colors in there. So many colors. It's beautiful. I'm very excited about this. This will become socks as well. And next is the yarn that I'm going to take on my trip. Now this yarn, this is amazing. This yarn is one that Penny came up with at the last minute when she found out that the grocery girls were coming in. I think we only found out about 2 or 3 weeks before the show. So Penny had to come up with the colorway and get it dyed up quickly. I think she had 20 skeins or something like that. But this is called, Georgia, we're podcasting. So if you watch the Grocery Girls, you know that reference. And there are mismatched socks. These are Jody and Tracy's favorite color, excuse me. And I just think that this is beautiful and amazing, and I cannot wait to knit these up. This is what's going on my trip with me, and I've got to come up with a sock pattern. Jody Miller has her coffee shop socks. I can't remember what they're called. I have the pattern, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to knit these out of that pattern. So I'm very excited. I'll get these caked up pretty soon and get them ready. Our trip is we'll leave just under 5 weeks from now to go to Indy. Anyway, so these will be my Indianapolis 500 socks. Eek, I'm so excited. Anyway, what else did I get? Oh yeah, there was another company that was new to me called Fiber Seed, and they moved from Florida to, I think they said Ohio recently. So I was looking at their yarn, and they have huge skeins of fingering weight. Of course, that means they're a little bit more expensive, but I thought, I had pretty much decided I was done. I really wasn't quite done, but I was done with my yarn shopping at that point. And so they had a buy 2, get 1 half off or something like that. So I went back and did that because they were new to me. So the first one that I picked out is called Interstellar, and this is it. This is a fingering weight, and it is 510 yards. Now, I have possibly a plan with this, but isn't this beautiful? I love these deep jewel tones, teals and dark blues, and some greens, and these purples. Oh my goodness. This is going to be great. I think I know what I'm going to do with this, and I'll talk about this in just a second. The other skein of fingering weight I got is called Unicorn Tears, shock of all shocks. And here it is. look at the colors, the pinks and the purples and the mint green and the dark greens here. Look at this teal right here. Look at that deep pop of purple and then the cream right here. And then here's some speckled. I cannot wait to see how this is going to knit up. This might be on the needles sooner than later. And this is a 90-10. So I'm not really sure how it would hold up. If anybody's had any experience with 90-10 sock weight yarn, let me know. Knitting it up into socks. They talked to me about their company a little bit. They have their own yarn milled for them. It is sourced in the U.S. for them, specifically for them. It's a husband and wife, and they are just a neat couple. They're great. This is made in America with American wool, it says. So here's their tag, Fiber Seed. And this is their Sprout sock base. Both of these, I believe, are the Sprout sock. But then I decided, since they were buy two, get one half off, that they had this one. And this is a DK. It's 250 yards, and this is, again, a 90-10. And I fell in love with this colorway. This is called Punked. This is the colorway. This is their Sprout DK, and this is the color. Blacks and hot pinks and hot green neons and black with a little bit of cream. And this is going to become a cowl. Maybe a very simple cowl because of the colors. They had some really interesting yarns, though. I would recommend that you go look up Fiber Seed, because they have some beautiful yarns, and I think you can follow them on Instagram as well. And their website is thefiberseed.com. I love it. I love the couple. They were just adorable and sweet, and I loved their yarn. So give them a chance if you can. I got a few little extra things. There's a booth, and they come from Illinois, and I feel terrible because I can't remember the name of the booth. Hang on, let me pause and see if I can find it. Okay, well, I can't find it. I'm so sorry. I'll try to find it and put it in the show notes. But I've been there before and gotten some stitch markers from them. And I did the same thing this time. And I think I got some yarn from them last year. Anyway, they come from Illinois. And they had YarnCon there in Illinois the same weekend, but they have a big following in Texas, so they still come for the DFW Fiber Fest. Anyway, I got a couple of shawl pins. First, I got this one, this unicorn. I got this unicorn head shawl pin, and I've used it, and it's great. I mean, this is not something you could use with like a really thick shawl, because it does close up really close in there. But if it's got enough squish, and there's room here to squish. See, it'll actually kind of go down. And I wore it, and it worked great. Another thing that I got from them this year was a stitch marker necklace. It has this little sheepy charm. Let's see here. Sorry. I know I've got to block my face. There you go. And then it had this cord with this at the bottom, and then it opens like this. Let's see. Like this. And what I bought from them was this set of unicorn stitch markers. So there are 5 of them. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm not doing a good job at all. There's this pinkish one. And this gray one, and then this yellowish one. But I also got, as you can see, these. They're called ice cube stitch markers. Here, let me just hold. I don't have all of them on there. I'm going to pick a couple of them up and show you. They are beautiful. I love anything sparkly, though. And there were 5 of these in a set. So I got those in the unicorns, and I was super duper excited to get those. What else did I get? Oh, I got this little bag, and it's made out of like the reusable grocery store bags. But this was a flamingo bag, and I had to have it. It's really, really cute. Don't really know what I'm going to do with it, but I always find a use for these smaller bags like this. This is from Blue Q Bags. BlueQ.com. Okay. I'm trying to keep this a shorter episode, so I think that was really all from DFW, but it was great. It was fabulous. The next thing I'm going to talk about 1 week. A quick update. I talked to y'all about my foot last time. I went to a surgeon. I went to an orthopedic surgeon, I think since I talked to y'all. And he pretty much said, not exactly the same thing as the podiatrist said, but it's going to be 6 weeks off my foot no matter what. He said I have like an instability going back from my big toe up my foot, and I think that's the thing that's going to keep me off my feet so long. And I've been having a lot of pain across the top of my foot, and I thought maybe I had done some damage to it. Anyway, it turns out it's arthritis. Doesn't make me happy at all, but he said when we go in to do the surgery, he can give me a shot, and that should help it. Because he said we could either fix it or do the shot, and I said, well, what would you recommend? And he said if it were me, I would just do the shots. So that's what I'm thinking about doing for now. It's the soonest I could possibly do it and be off my foot for 6 weeks is the end of June after the Houston Fiber Fest, because I'll have enough time to heal before our fall shows. The idea of being off my feet and out of control of what's going on in my life does not make me feel at ease. Anyway, I'm coming to grips with it though, because I'm tired of the pain and it's slowing me down, and I'm not ready to slow down. So I'm going to have to do it at some point in the very near future, and I'll at least get a lot of knitting done during that time. So I'll keep y'all apprised of that situation. Anyway, so I mentioned our trip. Our trip is coming up. We're the 26th, 25th, 24th, 23rd. We'll be leaving May 22nd. Just Chuck and myself. The boys will still be here. We're going to leave on Wednesday. We're going to drive all day and get there that night. And then on Thursday, we'll have all day just to go and do things and look around. We love Indy. I mean, that's where my husband's from, and it's just a great place. And we've got some yarn shops we're going to go to on the way there. And while we're there, there's one in Texarkana, which is right on the border. And we should be getting there about the time, well, after they've opened. We'll get there after they've opened. So we're going to stop in there. We found some others. One had shut down. One is only open on Mondays and Tuesdays or something. And by the time we can get to it, I think it's also in Arkansas. I can't remember. Anyway, we're not going to be there at a time when it's going to be open. Anyway, and then on Friday, we'll go to Carb Day. And then Saturday is the day of the drivers meeting, which is where everybody sits in front of you on these little stands, all the drivers, and they present them with their ring, and if they've got special awards or something like that, they get them then. Also, that's the day where you can get autographs, which is a lot of fun. My favorite is one of the most popular, so it's harder to get his autograph. It's Tony Kanaan. But that's a lot of fun. And I believe it's Friday. I can't remember if it's Friday or Saturday now that they have they have a bunch of the retired drivers in, and you can also get in line and get their autographs inside a building. And usually on the weekend of the race, it's pretty miserably hot for me, especially being an indoors girl. But we have covered seats, and that's also it's kind of, I mean, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but I'm like, Chuck, we really have to, because I got a horrible sunburn the first year that we were out there. Horrible. Like, I looked like Frankenstein's monster. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, my forehead swelled up. My lips tripled. My face was puffy and burned. It was a nightmare. And we have sat full sun one other time, and I wore a sun visor, but I just don't do well in the heat. And it only has to be in the 80s for me, and being in full sun, that pretty much does me in. I'm telling y'all, I'm an indoors girl from way back in the day. Anyway, but I'm still looking forward to it. It's going to be amazing. And my husband is planning as a surprise to take my dad to the Texas race on June 8th. My dad said just the other day he would love to be able to go to one of those races, and so that's our plan. That'll probably be his Father's Day gift, and so I think he'll be excited, and I'll go and stay with Mom, and it's going to be great. It's going to be exciting. Also in June, my husband and I are going to go see Hootie and the Blowfish and Bare Naked Ladies. Hootie and the Blowfish are back together for at least this tour. Maybe they're going to do an album. I'm not sure. Anyway, and so I'm super excited. I don't know if Stephen Page is going to be with Bare Naked Ladies, but I really, really hope he is. Either way, I love them. But this is two of my all-time favorite bands together on tour. And Hootie and the Blowfish back together. I freaked out when I found out. So we've had our tickets since December, and I may have told y'all. But I'm still excited. Anyway, I have one other little thing I'm going to talk to y'all about, and then I'll shut her down for this time. Right after I recorded last time, on my next knit night, actually I think it was the day that I recorded last time, I went in to knit night, and the girls had a little birthday party planned for me. I kind of knew about it, but two of the girls had baked me a unicorn cake, and I'll put that picture up at the end. I don't want to keep showing y'all the pictures. I'm going to start putting them at the end. My friend Alyssa had decorated this cake, and Merrick had baked it. And it's a rainbow layer cake, and it was such a beautiful little cake. I loved it. It was amazing. And Alyssa not only decorated this beautiful cake, but she crocheted this beautiful little unicorn for me. Here's the mane and the tail. And she crocheted this for me. I was so touched. It's just beautiful. I got a little Easter basket from Sue that had a bag of candy in it as well, and this was the basket it was in. It's a little unicorn Easter basket. And she also got me, she knows that I'm way into dangly earrings and holiday earrings, and she got me these little Easter bunny earrings. So I've been wearing those ever since. Michelle got me a grown-up coloring book and pencils, which I'm so sorry I don't have them with me. Sorry, Michelle. It's a beautiful book, though, and I haven't started coloring in it yet, but I'm going to. And then, look, can you get my little unicorn plate right there on the shelf? And then my friends Maria, Zoe, and Seth got me a little package that was just the sweetest thing. The first thing I saw were these unicorn socks. They are super squish and thick, thick, thick. And I probably won't be able to wear these till next winter. They have the grippies on the bottom, but they're so cute. So this, oh, and look at the little fuzzy top. Anyway, so this was the first thing they got me. They got me something I don't have with me. It goes on my phone charger. I keep it in my car, and it's a little flamingo, and it goes around it, and it kind of keeps it more stable around the base of where it plugs in. Loved it. They got me this adorable little book of unicorn Post-its. So it's got these little unicorn heads. This one. These. I love these little tabs. I use these quite. I've actually used these. This little note. And these. It's got a bunch of adorable little unicorn Post-its. This is two little pads right here, and then another full one. Anyway, and then the last one, the last part of that gift was this jewelry unicorn plate. I'm not sure what you call it. Plate, I guess. That Seth picked out for me. I love it. I keep it on the shelf in my living room. I'm not using it to put jewelry on. I want it sitting out where everybody can see it. I was so touched. Everybody was just so sweet and kind to me, and I don't deserve it, but I really appreciate it. And I have one other thing that I forgot to show y'all and tell you. I got this at DFW. There was a guy there. Poly Studios, Pawley. I thought that's what it was. Poly Studios. And they have all these mugs for knitters. And they have some that are Star Wars. And as you can see, Espresso Patronum, Harry Potter. They have yarn bowls. They had some mugs that looked like they were knitted. What else? Oh, they have one that's called... I can't think. I ordered it, and it'll be here in about 4 to 5 weeks or so. Anyway, I'll show you that when it comes in and talk about it some more. Anyway, they had some gorgeous stuff, and you can actually watch them. It's a husband and wife again. You can watch them doing their pottery in real time, I think on YouTube. I haven't watched them yet. It may be Instagram. Anyway, I'm going to list all of this in the show notes. I'm really bad about doing show notes, but I'm going to do this for y'all this time so you can see these. And, yeah, I got one other little dorky thing. I found this unicorn power bag the other day at Walmart. And I think when I go places and I don't want to have to carry my whole purse full of stuff, this is going to be my purse, and I can clip it onto another bag with the handle. And, so I'll probably take this to the Indy 500 with me. Anyway, me and my unicorns and rainbows. Hey, why not? They're happy, aren't they? So I think that's all I wanted to talk to y'all about this time. We have 2 upcoming fiber festivals. Yellow Rose is the first week in May, and I'll record right after that one. I think that's the 3rd and 4th. And then the Houston Fiber Fest is the last full weekend in June. I don't remember the dates, I'm sorry. Anyway, so that's what we've got going on. That's what we've got coming up. And there's a lot to look forward to this summer. And even if I have the surgery, I've got a lot of beautiful yarn to knit. And I'll probably podcast during that. And so I guess that's all we're going to talk about this time. So until next time, knit on. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tell your friends. See you next time.